Hey guys, welcome to the Retrograde YouTube channel. If you've reached superfan status by making it this far into the video, continue to stick around and get ready for some more boat content. Now, admittedly, while we've been all over the place and have not had much consistency on sticking with a project very long or owning it very long, this one will be different. And that's because this is a special boat with a lot of sentimental value and family history behind it to the narrator, Brock. Well, me. And that ride is a 1960 Alumacraft Queen Merrie Deluxe. This boat was purchased new and set up by my maternal great-grandfather and left up at the family cabin in Ontario, Canada in the 1960s. It's been used by each generation of the family every summer, retired to backup status in the early 2000s, and then needed to make a 1,200-mile journey back to the States in the summer of 2023 when it was slated to be replaced by a 1990 16-foot Lund that my dad got for free several years previous. That's a story for another day. Now, after arriving at the cabin some 60 plus years ago, the custom trailer hadn't been towed much more than down to the water, and it certainly hadn't made any extended trips like it did originally. So Dad and I spent several days rigging up some lights, replacing the old dry rotted tires, and cleaning and repacking the hub bearings, which to my understanding somehow originally fit a 1956 Cadillac. Oddly enough, as nasty as it all looks, they cleaned up decently well. They weren't rusted at all. Guess that goes to show you the quality of stuff back then. I'm fairly certain most modern trailer bearings wouldn't have fared as well. Once that was done, and after piling the boat with years worth of associated boathouse junk, I hooked it to my parents' vehicle and let them deal with towing it back. Their feedback indicated that the 55 mile per hour maximum speed the boat trailer combo wished to be towed at made for a slow trip home, but it miraculously made it back all in one piece to the exact spot where it originally departed from years ago. A short time later, back home, Andrew and I had just sold our 1946 Century Seamaid, so I now had a free spot open in the Alfred garage. Not being able to withstand that, I drove up to Ohio a week or so later to retrieve the Alumacraft and bring it down to Kentucky. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and attempt to take the Alumacraft home today. It's made a 1,200 mile trek so far. I've towed it back and forth around a little bit, but it's going to make another 350 mile trek today. So certainly hope it has the luck that it did when it made it here from Ontario, Canada with no incidents. It's leaving Wilcox garage. This is my brother's business. This was my grandfather's, or my great-grandfather's business years ago, since 1937. He purchased this boat and he assembled it with the, at the time, the 57 twin outboards, and built the trailer, built the fuel boxes, and got it ready to go to Canada. And it left here somewhere around 1960. It is leaving here again, but this time to go down to Kentucky. So, guess I better get to it. It's gonna be a slow drive. Here you can see the old brake lines where he used to plummet somehow into his car, which I believe was a Rambler station wagon at the time. Here's where he hooked it up. Here's where he bled it, right there. So I can't say I'll be doing that today. Look at that. Maybe Wilcox Garage is making another YouTube video. Their success. You can see I've got a full load. I don't know if you noticed, but there's another outboard motor. You can't see it, that I brought back from Canada as well. Not running. I think it lost compression in one cylinder. Right there in that box on the floor. Helps give her a little tongue weight. So anyways, about buttoned up here, ready to go. Alright, so now that everything's good to go, while I take the slower backcountry route down to my first pit stop, why not provide a little more background on the family cabin this boat resided at the majority of its life. In the early 1950s, my great-grandfather somehow got into fishing and hunting in a section of wilderness near Lac Suel Reservoir, Ontario, Canada, approximately 1,200 miles away from his home in Ohio. A short period later, he acquired a lot on one of the reservoir's small bays, built a boathouse and a cabin, and of course stashed a few Alumacraft boats and some fishing gear. From that point on, the cabin has been enjoyed by the family for every summer vacation since, and still stands in pretty much its original configuration. Alright guys, now that you have that little bit of history, let's get back to this boat and see how the trip's going. Alright, so we are at Dollar General in Hebron, Ohio, taking the back way down, and look what I found. It's a late 1940s, I think a 47, Evinrude Light 4. And it is absolutely gorgeous. 4-cylinder, original outboard engine. I've been eyeing this thing on Facebook for a while, but every time I come up with a wife and kids, I never really have the opportunity to get it. I'm on backcountry roads today, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. At some point, hopefully I'll have some content on that. It'll get a massive amount of views. Boat's still riding nice. Tires still look good. Everything still looks good. And the nice thing with a boat like this is when you get a lot of stuff, you get a lot more room to throw some stuff inside. So I had to move the ramp and my extra stand and tools to the back here. We'll see, I may opt to take some freeway with it. It seems to be riding pretty decent. I've hit 70 a couple times, it didn't get too squirrely. Bearings still feel good, I don't feel any heat there or anything. So I think we're still good to go. Gonna be a long trip. All right, had to pull my GoPro battery out, it was frozen. Chalk another one up for GoPro, Team GoPro. Squirt, we're not sponsored by them. And I usually don't drink pop, but I am still on my vacation. And this is, Squirt is delicious. And I'm thirsty. So, getting ready to leave here. It's 2:53 and I'm getting tired of screwing around with country roads, so I might see what this trailer can do before rush hour traffic hits. I'd really like to get through Columbus before rush hour hits. 40 goes through downtown. Looks like Route 40 is what I would take. Hit over to 42. I may hop on, hop back off, but we'll see. For now, I'm gonna start doing what the GPS tells me to do, the shortest route. So, continuing on. Alright. $70 west, here we go. Let's give it a shot. Time to live dangerously and make up some time. Okay, so the trailer that fits the 18-foot Alumacraft like a glove is honestly very well made, and my great-grandfather built it like a tank when he fabricated it in 1960, at the same time that he custom built the boat's fuel storage boxes that doubled as seating, and installed the 1957 Johnson RD19L long-shaft 35 horsepower outboard motors onto the transom. He towed this trailer several times over that 1,200-mile span, and it's important to note that many of the roads leading up there at the time were not well paved, but fairly rough and gravel made, so the trailer was made to withstand that. On the same note, however, driving speed on those roads and in those times was much slower, likely well under 55. And, as mentioned earlier, the trailer was also made to be towed behind his car or station wagon and hence needed to have a light tongue weight. Combine that with swapping the 35s to newer and heavier Johnson 50 horsepower loop charged models in 1974, which now moved the tongue weight into the negative territory. All of these things lead to a less than desirable towing experience today with the boat and trailer's current configuration. So I stayed on the freeway through Columbus and down towards Cincinnati, moving slightly under the 70-mile-per-hour highway speed limit. Once getting into a bit crazier traffic, however, as I approached Mason, Ohio, I again opted to take an alternate route and see if I could figure out how to follow US 42 through downtown Cincinnati and across the Ohio River. Alright, so we're on 42 in downtown Cincinnati, US Route 42, traffic jams, so I hopped back on 42. I'm guessing these bumps are to prevent speed racers, these center things, like motorcycles, because you can kind of get over them with a car on the sides if you put them center. But God, are they annoying. Really annoying when you're towing a trailer. Oh, especially an old trailer. But I guess this thing was made for Canada pothole roads back in the day, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, here we are, downtown Cincinnati, still on 42. Wasn't the greatest area back there, now it's cleaned up. We'll see how bad of an idea this is, see which bridge I go over. I'm just ignoring the GPS at this moment. Alright, I made it. After about 25 turns downtown, I found Route 42 where it crosses the river. I can't say it was really worth it, but pretty bumpy for a trailer. Well, on the other hand, you know, the freeway is backed up, and at this time in Cincinnati, 71, 75 is crazy, and this trailer does not like high-speed evasive maneuvers. Low speed's fine, but high speed, she doesn't like it a lot, so we'll probably hop back on the freeway at some point, but that was a nice little detour. So I got back on I-75, I-71 South, and made the remainder of the journey carefully back to Louisville. The family relic is now in my garage. I've got some work cut out for me, and fun memories ahead using it with the wife and kids in the future here. And plenty of more video content if I decide to continue with that. Comment if you want to see more on this one, guys. It's really what keeps us going sometimes with our lack of traction on this platform. It's a lot of work to film this stuff and edit it all together, and sometimes both of us at Retrograde would rather just leave the cameras behind and actually enjoy this stuff in the moment.